Good afternoon. This is Tom Alexander. It is Sunday, January 14th. It is about 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. Beautiful but cold. Now, I realize cold is a relative term. It's about 50 degrees here, and we're all freezing our asses off. So that's just the way it is. Okay, the stock market. We have gone basically net nowhere since the third week in December in the indices. The indices are all over the place. That's not a big surprise because of the incredibly vertical rise from the end of October into that third week in December. So I've been looking for rotation. I've been looking for some sort of balance. I've been looking for some sort of retracements, and we have it. Now, there's several interesting things going on here. Let's discuss this and let's look at the charts. Okay, we have the SPX, the Dow, the RUT, the Russell 2000, and the NDX. Let's just take them one by one. Now, there are two keys to me right now in the market. And the key one is the S&P, key two is the Russell. But I'm going to discuss all of these because I know we all trade them all. So, but the SPX in particular, it's just amazing how it refuses to close above this 4,800 level. That's going to be just an absolutely critical level. All sorts of crazy things can happen, are happening near that level. You can see they've tried to get through this thing several times. I'm going to show you another view in the minute of the SPX regarding recent closes, but that 4,800 level, it has to be respected. If the S&P, if the SPX begins trading above 4,800, you better be careful about shorting the market because you could get acceleration. Okay, now let's look at the Dow's in a similar position. The NDX is in a similar position. The one that is not in a similar position is in actually the exact opposite position is the Russell. Now, the Russell has a well-defined balance area in here. You can see how clustered prices are in this area. You can also see, and we'll look at the profile view, and you can see it clear from that in just a minute. But we had this big reversal day on Friday. You know what that means when Globex opens tonight, and then obviously the cash market on Tuesdays will tell the tale. But if I'm watching two things. I'm watching the price action of the SPX and the price action of the Russell very, very closely. We're not going to have another 2, 3, 4, 5% ramp straight up unless the Russell participates to one degree or another. So this weakness in the Russell right now goes on the bearish side of the ledger. The fact that the SPX is holding up so well near that 4,800 level goes on the bearish side of the level. These two things cannot continue to be at the same time. So I think we're going to get a resolution very early in the trading week next week, because you're not going to have the Russell about sitting on the low that it made in that first week in January dump that all the indices experienced, and it's now hovering around that level. But you have the other three, in particular the SPX, that is just below that absolutely critical 4,800 level. The algorithms love, especially the SPX, love to play games around those important pivots. So watch that area very carefully, but you do not want to get caught short on expanding breadth. And you will have, if we have expanding breadth, you're going to strengthen the Russell, but you don't want to get short the SPX above that 4,800 level. Okay, let's look at the profile view. And this is the SPX on the left. And you can see we closed at the upper extreme of what is, this is all one trade. This is all one auction, all one balance area. If I were to, well, I'll just do it. If we fold this, there we go. So you can see this is all one glob of an auction. So you do not want to get caught short above this area. Just as a gross guideline, this is the point around which this market is trading. This is the quote unquote, high volume node, point of control, all that stuff that is of, just be careful of putting too much magic on any one level just because this happens to be the area of greatest coincident price activity here. So it is important. In general, you want to be long above it. In general, you want to be short below it. Okay, now the Russell is the opposite of this. As I said, this is what's head scratching at the moment. The Russell is in an extremely tighter and tighter balance area. It closed below the high volume node of all the trade that has occurred since the end of the year into Friday. It closed below that high volume node. So something has to give here. You're going to see the Russell trade above 1663, or you're going to see the SPX trade below 4743, and that's our tell. Okay, let's look at this view. Now, the internals, and for those of you that may be watching this for the first time, I use very simple things. I don't use indicators, oscillators, any magic. I use price action. Now, I do use the closest thing to an indicator that I use NYSE data, but it's actual data. There's no magic to it. NYSE data. And specifically, I use a 10-day moving average, which is the red line you see here of NYSE advancing issues. The green is a 5-day moving average of advancing issues. And the blue is breadth. Now, breadth has been all over the place since the end of the year. There's no conviction on a day-to-day basis. There's no driver of this thing directionally day after day after day that you're going to see in a bull trend or a bear trend. Now, you'll have days in bull trends that are down, you have days in bear trends that are down, but generally you'll only have one or maybe two, and then you're off to the races again. We haven't really had that. It's been all over the place. Now, something else, and I put this in the report I sent. By the way, do me a huge favor. If you like this video, if you're finding value, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. This is all the charts that you see here. You can find at the website for free, alexandertrading.com. Go to weekend updates. You can see the update from this weekend. You can see the updates going back for months. Okay. If you notice here, we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 closes between 4780 and 4784. We have not had a single close above 4784 basis the SPX. So this area, this 4784 has been rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times and counting. This is an important area. This area, this 4784, 4780 area is really, really important. The 10-day and the 5-day moving average are sort of neutral. They could turn up either way. If we were to get a horrible crash of 2 or 3%, you'd probably see the 10-day creeping on down towards this level. And at that point, depending on where price is and a number of different things we'll take up at that point in time, could be another buying opportunity. So as usual, next week will be interesting. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Reminder, Monday's a holiday in the U.S., so there will be no trade. There will be funky Globex trade beginning tonight. I don't know the hours. Check with your broker. Okay, guys, have a great weekend. I'll speak with you again soon.